special guest Linnea here with us. She can't hear the music, so I'm going to cue her up when we're ready. Enjoy the pepper as an intro.
I'll just act like I can hear it.
Oh, yeah, no, that's it. Just bob your head. Just bob your head. The rest will kind of fit in. Yeah, mama. All right, I'm gonna cut it down a little bit early just because we have Linnea in the house here and we need to speak to Linnea. Super special guest, super happy to have her here rather, I should say, a little more clearly. But she and I are plotting on possibly getting a podcast started. How are you, Linnea? And welcome to the podcast.
I'm doing wonderful. Happy to be here. Hello, everybody.
Hello, Linnea. So happy to have you here. She has her own things, the Hearts Aligned podcast. You can see she's got her own setup going over there. She's kind of working on it right now. Yes, she's a very spiritual, very loving individual, and that's what we love about Linnea. That's what makes her so special. So she's getting stuff going over there. She's getting the ball rolling on her own podcast. I'm figuring out how to use this Zoom thing. Linnea's up north right now, living amongst the trees. She's looking for Sasquatch. Have you found Bigfoot yet?
I have not found him yet, but I've got so much more land to cover. I've got so many places to see, so many places to go. It's just endless here. So
if she wants to shout out her handle right now for IG, feel free. She has not just some of her own episodes of her own podcast over there, but you'll see some of her adventures, her going through streams and all the amazing, I guess just like it's God's country up there. It's nothing but beautiful, beautiful scenery. It's a blessing really for her to be able to spend some time up there, but I know she's missing the beach right now.
yeah, I'm coming down in a couple months and, I'm jumping in that ocean. I might be the only one in there, but I'm going.
And you know what? I've seen her jump in the ocean in the winter myself. She don't mess around. She doesn't care. She loves the ocean so much, and I guarantee that's one of the big things that she's deprived of being up north. But I mean, the splendor, I'm glad you're getting to experience it. I haven't spent a ton of time up in that region, but what do they call it? The Pacific Northwest, right?
Yeah, and if I'm willing to take a drive and spend a day, I actually can go to the beach.
Oh, there you go. It's a little rocky and cold, right? I mean,
so the last time I went, the water was actually warm and it was great. The only thing I hear from the locals is that it's not so safe to just jump in anywhere. They're afraid of the riptides, but I don't know if that's just them or if that's true. Yeah, because I'm an ocean woman, so
yeah. I mean, you'd probably be fine. The problem is they're not used to ocean dwellers like yourself jumping in. they don't know that you're your own lifeguard. Unlike most people. Yes, yeah. You're not only going to be able to save yourself, you'll probably be able to save them as well. So yeah, they're worried about jumping in. Linnea's not. She's a real SoCal girl. She surfs. She does it all. She body surfs. If the waves are crashing, she's jumping in. So she don't mess around. And I think they're probably right. There are probably some riptides, but the kind of stuff that we're accustomed to, I don't think it's a big deal for us. So it's kind of nice.
Yeah. So I need to get down there more because it is a trek. You got to dedicate more time definitely than 15 minutes.
It's not like let's go grab some tacos and hit the beach and then we'll be back home in a couple hours. It's like, no, we need to we're doing the whole day. We're setting up a cooler. We're packing up all the gear. We're gonna make a drive. It's gonna a whole day affair just to get out to the beach. But you get to come home soon, and I know you've been missing it. But it's another reason to really truly appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, so you haven't had a chance to meet my Best friend.
Oh my goodness. You have a cat. What is Mr. Blue
I
Cat's
do.
name? What?
Blueberry, aka
Shut
Blue.
up. I did
I
not
swear.
know. Hey, on everything, folks, I did not know the name of the cat.
She's
Blueberry.
blue. But guess what? She's a cat dog.
Oh,
She plays fetch. She actually brings me the ball and she meows at me to play fetch with her. Like, this cat is a cat dog.
yeah. Does it still poop in a box full of like litter?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's an
that's not a dog thing.
Hey, but I actually caught her. She's been peeing outside though, in the
Oh.
dirt because I have a yard for her. She started peeing outside.
Hey,
So
that's legit. No, honestly, that's a team player. Cats are such dicks. You know, one of the best Nick Swartzen. Do you know Nick Swartzen, the comedian? The guy that was
not
in
too much.
uh yeah, I'm trying to think of I'm like blanking on the movies. Oh my gosh, I'm such a knucklehead. Anyway, he had this skit, and he's a comedian, about visiting his mom, who's in Minnesota. She's up north, real far, like like Canadian, eh? And she has a cat named Snowy, Snowy because it's white. And yeah, I know it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Anyway, the whole skit's about how cats are inconsiderate and how they like to just not be a team player. But it sounds like your cat might be the exception, which is amazing. It's cats. I know they're much more manageable. Dogs there are literally like I'm like trying to act like dogs are better or something. I mean, they are in my opinion, but also they're a big old silly mess. I mean, more food, more poop. I mean, they chew your. Has your cat chewed your couch or anything yet? Has he destroyed anything yet?
No,
She has not.
she's never destroyed
She.
anything.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's not a dog thing
Right.
either. So there are pros and cons. There are pros and cons. You can't have your cake and eat it
Yeah.
too. That's cool. At least you got a
Man,
buddy. You got a buddy over there.
man, I got so lucky with her. Seriously, like I haven't had a cat since I was really young.
Okay.
So I was kind of nervous. But after working at a shelter, I kind of fell in love with cats too. And man, all I can say is soul animal,
Look at
soul
look at
cat.
look
Like,
at. She loves it. She loves you.
yeah, dude.
Oh, okay.
For
Okay. I see what's
she
going on over
she
there.
she
You're cheating on
proves
dogs. You're cheating on dogs is what you're doing. You're cheating on dogs. We got a dog person switching over to cats. I didn't know you worked at a shelter, so tell me more about this shelter situation.
Yeah, okay. So I worked at a shelter for almost a year. Man, I loved it, but they don't pay you jack shit,
Oh,
honestly.
and and
I
and
was
think not just that. I didn't mean to like cut you off, but I mean pay, of course, is not necessarily like the main reason you're going to be out there doing that kind of work. But
yeah.
it's the heartache. It's the heart and soul that you put into these animals. And I mean, obviously, you like cats now. So
Right? Right? Yeah.
what the
Hey,
heck?
it's a dangerous job too. I'll say that. So I went like so long without ever getting injured, but at the very end, I did get bit, but I'm
Oh,
proud of it. I'm
by
actually proud of it.
by a cat or a dog?
By a dog.
Oh, those little
Yeah.
bastards. Was it a little dog or a big one?
Yeah. It was a Doberman.
Holy crap. Are you okay? Are you okay? That's a real
Yeah.
dog. That's not a small dog.
Yeah, yeah. So I was always very careful not to get bit. He did not bite me out of anger or aggression whatsoever. He actually just didn't want me to leave. And
Oh,
uh,
oh, that's it.
yeah,
And knowing that they're they're what would you call them? They're not. They're orphans. They're
orphans.
orphan
Yeah,
dogs. They're
yeah,
orphan dogs. I mean, so you can imagine. And I mean these poor. they all have hearts and they all have souls, and I bet he probably felt abandoned and wanted you to be there with him, and oh, that kind of breaks my heart, but it probably broke your hand instead, you know.
So okay, so I was lucky. He got the back of my leg, not too bad. I was wearing some thick jeans,
Oh,
so he
okay.
broke skin, made me bleed, but I was wearing some thick jeans. He didn't get me too bad. A bruise. It was
Oh,
a bad bruise,
I'm
you
sorry.
know.
That's
Um,
crazy though. Are you got PTSD now?
no, not at all,
I was
not at
gonna
all.
I was gonna say
Um,
some people get bit by dogs and they're like, never again. I don't trust those animals anymore. But it's like, dude, yeah, the
Not
dog
me, man, not me.
dogs will be dogs. Dogs will be dogs. So, well, I'm proud of you. You took it. You took it in stride. You're a champion. I think that's part of the job description. Prepare to be bit. It's just kind of like, okay, I'm working in a shelter.
Dude.
Yeah, you don't know if these dogs have been abused. You don't know if they've been neglected. You don't know what's gone on in their lives. So that's just it. Really takes a special person to devote themselves to doing a job like that. And honestly, if I wasn't such a soft little marshmallow of a soul, I could probably do that myself. I'd be great. I'm great with animals. Like dogs love me, and so do cats. And I do have a few cats that I'm homies with. One of my buddies got a cat named Abba Zaba. It's like the same colors like the Abba Zaba, like the candy. Um, and
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
it's like a smaller, you know, it looks like maybe like it's still like a half of the size of like a full blown like street cat. So it never grew full size. It's like, a little bit smaller than your average cat, considerably smaller than your average cat. And it's white, it's really pretty, and it's got blue eyes, and it's crazy. It's an absolute lunatic, but because it goes around and like attacks everything in the neighborhood, and it like most of the time like squirrels like tease cats, and this cat like teases squirrels. It's like it's a really awesome cat. Like you're saying, it comes to you and it's like very vocal. It wants to like play and it'll fetch and do all that stuff with you. I mean, it really will. It's a really cool cat, but I mean, it's very few and far between where you find a cat that you can get along with, and that's one of them. I'm like, dude, that cat's sweet because it doesn't rely. It could be outside full time or it could be inside full time, and yeah, and it's one of those cats. It's got a good personality. I don't like scaredy cats. I like ones that like people. I like people cats. So yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a dog person, but man,
yeah,
my cats changed my mind. Like I'll say I love both of them so much.
that's dope. And I did actually. I have to give credit to growing up with a really cool cat named Popeye. It was a stray cat. It was like an alley stray cat that my parents started feeding for whatever reason. It was missing one eye. It was a female calico. And I mean, pretty much my whole life growing up, we had that cat, and I mean, it was never allowed inside. But we'd hang out, half the day outside with the dang thing, and it was sweet. And it wasn't, it was kind of sad I was sad when it died, but then I never really chose to own a cat. When I lived in Chatsworth for a short time, there was a cat there, and I'm trying to think of the type of cat it was. It was a tabby. It wasn't like an orange tabby. It was just a tabby, like a gray tabby. And
Hmm.
it would come up to my door in Chatsworth, and it would hang out with my pit bull, with my dog Gage, and it would go nose to nose, and Gage would just be wagging his tail, and the cat would just give it a dead stare, and it was like, okay, I'm gonna let them meet. And one day I opened the door, and the cat and the dog got along, and I was like, no way. So it was a really sad story because I kind of took the cat in. I never let it into my house, not in,
Hmm.
but I like,
Hmm.
I'm gonna leave. There was always food and water on the porch, and it was an outside cat, and it was like we lived in horse property. It was out in Chatsworth, so it was like a lot of open space out there, and I was like, who cares if there's a cat around here as long as it's not.
That was That was your cat.
It was. I think it was. But then, yeah, it got hit by a car. And then, like,
Oh man.
yeah, like it makes me really sad to even think about it.
Oh
I shouldn't chuckle,
yeah.
but yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, that was the last time I even came close to owning a cat, and that was, well over 10 years ago now. So,
Yeah.
yeah, well, I'm glad you're having a good cat, your ownership experience, Linnea. And I didn't mean to get
Me too.
off
Hey,
on this crazy tangent, but
I was just gonna say this is hilarious. She must think I'm insane. Because I have the headphones in, so she just thinks I'm having a full blown conversation
we
with
are.
the air right now.
No,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is
She
which is
can't
only
hear
half.
you,
It's only half true, you know. And I thought that you were
right?
gonna say she knows that we're talking about her, which she probably does. I mean, and again, her name is Blueberry.
Yeah, but she goes by Blue.
Okay, Blue. I was
Her
like,
formal name is Blueberry, but she's Blue.
I saw her and I said, "What's Blue Cat's name?" And you said, "Well, it's Blueberry." So,
And I actually kind of named her after a pit bull. I loved a pit bull named Blue so much. It was my
oh,
roommate's pit bull. So
oh,
she's kind of named after a pitty.
that's super awesome. And speaking of my dog Gage, who is a blue pit, um,
Yeah.
originally his original name, originally, it was inspired by a 2007 Yamaha R1 motorcycle, and it was a Raven edition. And the Raven edition Yamahas
Yeah.
2007 had blue gauges on. So you turn the key
Okay.
on, and it was a blue gauge that would pop up. And I wanted to call him Gage because I love the dog. I love the dog named Shotgun. I thought that was a cool name, and I was gonna name Gage 12 Gauge, but instead I decided I'm gonna name him Blue Gauge. So his name is Blue Gauge.
Okay.
That's his whole name.
Oh.
Yeah, nobody.
Oh,
Not,
snap.
yeah, not a very well known
I didn't
thing.
know that.
Yep. You ask
I
any.
never knew that.
Yep. Anybody who's known Gage for the 16 years. We just celebrated Gage's 16th birthday. The dude is still kicking.
Oh.
Yeah, 16-year-old pit bull. Blue Gage is still alive. So yes, he's and you know what? Borrowed time. Every day is a blessing. Every moment I have with him is a blessing. I feel so lucky to still have him around. But he's still kicking. He's still trucking. I'm so proud of him.
You know what? He's the first pit bull that I loved.
Oh yeah, I remember when you first met him, you were like, "Am I allowed to like be cool with this dog?" And then yeah, then you guys became buds. You guys are like best buds after a while, which was awesome. Yeah, it was kind of cool to see that
He's the
relationship
first
develop.
one.
Yeah, well, it's
Oh,
good, and I feel like that he was like that with a few people, and he just kind of he has such a good nature. He is a sweet boy, but he looks kind of scary, so he really kind of gives you the whole. Even though you look scary, doesn't mean you necessarily are sort of thing. It gave people the full spectrum, and I really think that Gage changed a lot of people's thoughts on dogs, in that way. So I was happy about that part.
yeah.
Yeah.
When you sent me the picture of him, I was wondering today. I just thought about it. Like, how did you get his name? So that's cool that you told me the story now.
That's
I
it.
was thinking
Yeah,
that
that's
today.
it. Yeah, originally it was the whole the shotgun, which was the theme of the name of the dog that I really loved before, and I just I thought 12 gauge would be a cool name, and then I saw the blue gauge, and it was for whatever reason it all happened at the same time, and that was his original name, and to this day I'm like I never think about that, but it is that's his original name. That's super cool. I'm glad you kind of brought that up because it kind of was a good reminder for me. So, yeah, that's
So what's on your mind, Garrett? What's on your mind?
what's not on my mind. I feel like so here's the thing, and we want to keep this a little bit short. This is a little bit of a teaser, and there is no preparation clearly for any of this stuff. But what's been on my mind is there's just too much. Like, there's too much going on. There's too much to talk about. It's been overwhelming. I've nearly gone all but recluse. Okay. I was telling Linnea, we were chit chatting a little bit before this, even though we don't have time to catch up very often. I was talking with her before this, saying, I've been really slacking on my podcast, but for good reason. There's only a little bit of killer, weather left here in the summertime. There's so much stuff going on that honestly, by the time I'm prepared to talk about a set of subjects, there's a whole nother set of subjects to start talking about, and the seriousness of it all, and it's all real heavy, and it's all a lot of everything. And I went camping a few weeks ago, and it kind of took all that stuff off my mind, and I figured, you know what? As important as it is for me to kind of like reach out and try to like, get the truth out and talk about the things I'd like to talk about, it's also important to kind of take care of my soul and myself. And so, I mean, everything's been on my mind, Linnea, but nothing has been on my mind.
For one.
Right? I mean, and we have to. I mean, and I think about this all the time, and this is and I don't want to get super political, but this is very much like, something that we kind of, there's a theme going on right now. It's like us as a country, we've been doing so much for other countries, and, the hardships that are, amongst our citizens and, veterans and all that stuff. There's a lot going on. Let's just say that. And we've been sending a lot of money overseas. We've been supporting a proxy war. We've been sending hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukraine, and we haven't done anything about our own border, and we haven't done anything about our veterans that are homeless, and the people, our citizens that are homeless, which should be our number one priority. And it just reminds me of kind of like, not that I'm important, like this amazing country that I love so much, America, but it's like, I feel like it's one of those things. If you can't take care of yourself, then how are you going to be able to take care of others? And if we're destroying ourselves, I mean, as good as our heart might be, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, support Ukraine no matter what, but I don't think they understand the future that they could be stealing from, their kids and future generations, and for the people that are suffering here in this country. We are the last beacon of freedom, and I feel like the same way America needs to take care of itself first, I kind of need to take care of myself first, because when you get too stressed out and you get overwhelmed and you feel like there's just too much weighing down on you, I tend to myself kind of take it out and kind of be stressed out around other people. And I don't want to feel that way. I don't want to be that way. So my mind has been cleared as much as humanly possible, and I'm ready to get back on the horse and start stacking that bad boy up again, start stressing everybody else out around me, But yeah, I mean, I'm okay. I've just been kind of like resetting a little bit and kind of stepping back and kind of taking a breather and trying to enjoy the last of summer. And that's pretty much that's all that's on my mind. Everything and nothing. Everything and nothing. What is on your mind? What is next in line for Linnea, or what is weighing on you right now? What is next?
Well, I agree with what you're saying. Like, we got to take care of ourselves first. So I think that is always number one on my mind, is taking care of myself. I'm always trying to reach the next level as a human. Like, how can I optimize my health?
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, health is wealth, baby. That's all we got, that's number one.
Without health, you literally I mean, what is a bunch of money? And just full disclosure, Linnea practices yoga. She stretches. She does all those things. I think she does some meditation. I don't want to speak for her 100%, but what do you do for yourself to kind of keep yourself spiritually kind of well?
Yeah, I do practice meditation. A big thing lately has been before bed. I listen to 432 hertz frequency on YouTube.
I've heard of that. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Vibrations are definitely and frequencies are definitely a thing. And
yeah,
is this affecting your chakras? What is this doing?
yeah. Well, when you tune into it, immediately you just feel like this like sense of just honestly euphoria come over your whole body and relaxation and um I don't know, I have some crazy dreams. We can get into that another
Oh,
time.
I'd love to.
But
I'd love to. We got about 5 minutes left before we get kicked out of this bad boy. So
oh
yeah,
no,
no,
okay.
I want to hear about all these things, but keep going. Tell me exactly like without getting too in depth. Tell me kind of like what do you think is most beneficial and kind of what is do you have like a set routine or is it just kind of as you go and kind of how you feel whether or not you need it sort of deal? I mean, what is your
Okay, so the
regiment?
number one
Yeah.
thing that so the number one thing that I've learned, which sounds so like just basic, but it is legit, is how much are you breathing? How much are you actually breathing throughout the day, especially when you're stressed? Because when you're stressed, I don't know about you, but I hold my breath.
Yeah, or you take short
I'm
breaths,
not
right? Or you're like really like kind of really
shallow.
shallow. Yeah, shallow breathing. Yeah. I know what you're saying cuz you're kind of
Yeah,
you're getting
that's the
heated
number
up.
one thing.
You're not really going into the diaphragm at all. You're just kind of staying on top. I know. Okay. Okay. So that's crazy. That's something that not a lot of people I never think about that. I never think about that stuff. I know what you're saying, but I never think about that throughout the day like I haven't really fully got my diaphragm into rainy breaths recently, you know, and sometimes you just got to dig, right? I mean, it feels good. Absolutely. That's cool. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I have to remind myself of as well, especially when I'm at work. You know, I work at a law firm, it's pretty stressful.
Sure.
Um, so I will say, start out for anybody is just focus on your breathing and make sure you're taking these good inhalations and exhalations. And anytime you're stressed out, you can do the 4-4-4, which is breathe in deeply for 4 seconds, hold it for four, and breathe out for four.
Is
So the exhale is just as important as the inhale.
is that kind of a common practice like in like the whole meditation realm?
I learned it in yoga. I
Okay.
learned it in yoga.
Okay.
Mhm.
Because four's it's my lucky number. I mean, I'm just saying. Four's
Me
my lucky
too.
number
Me
and
too.
I'm realizing as I get older, four's your lucky number.
4 and 7, and it's October 4th right now.
That's my brother. Today's my brother's birthday. Happy birthday, Brady. Love you, buddy. Hopefully you're
Shout
watching this.
out.
Yes. Happy birthday, Brady.
Happy birthday. Happy
Yes.
birthday, Brady.
And happy number 4 day. Shh, 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 shh. Number 4, baby. We love number 4. So that's so cool. And I'm realizing as I'm getting older that like numbers are involved in everything. Like numbers, numerology and numbers are a thing. I always thought, you
It's a
know,
glitch.
and I never.
It's a glitch
It is the
in the
Matrix.
matrix.
Oh, now we're talking. We got the Matrix going. Okay, before we get shut off of this meeting, and I hope you guys with the Matrix teaser, the talking about some meditation, the breathing, the spirituality, the cat talk. I mean, you name it, we got it. And what we're also going to do is we're going to integrate some music as well. So hopefully you guys got a decent taste of kind of what we might be able to do as far as getting together with a podcast. So happy to have you, Linnea, and I hope you're happy to have me. She asked me on, and I'm like, I'm happy to have you. Like, I mean, thank you for having me, Linnea. Friggin', you're awesome.
Dynamic duo. Let's do this,
Oh,
dude.
we got
Let's do
this.
this.
The ambiguously gay duo. But I'm not gay. So we'll work on that. But all right. Much love to everybody. Linnea, I love you to death. It was awesome chatting with you. We got to do this, and we'll set up a schedule. And I know I make many promises, but I have a partner to keep me accountable now. So maybe we can get a little more action and we can be a little more consistent. Let's pray.
Yes. Before we end, I know we
Yes.
got about four. We got
Seconds.
about 444.
Yeah.
Mine says 4 minutes. Mine
Oh,
says
okay.
4 minutes.
Oh, you know where to look. I don't. Okay.
I can see it.
Okay.
I just want to say, yes, I will bring the spirituality and all that stuff.
I love it.
But hey, I can't lie. This whole war and everything, it's been on my mind. I think about this too every day almost because it's a big fucking deal. And we can't just pretend this isn't happening.
I'm proud of you, Linnea, and this is a big thing, and I'm glad that Linnea is willing to kind of delve into this topic a little bit, and it is something that we have to talk about. It's not going to be, the world issues are going to be a part of the podcast, and I'm glad that you want to talk about this stuff.
I care about this too.
Yeah, because I mean, and she sees the scope of how important this is. We're in a very we're in like I would call it a paradigm shift right now. Like what's going on right now is going to be so consequential for generations to come. The time that we're living in is going to be written in history books forever. And whether or not we all have anything right or everything wrong or whatever you want to call it, I mean, if your heart isn't somewhere in this battle, if you really just don't care, if you're completely disconnected from the seriousness and how important this is to the future, and if you have kids or if you have friends that have kids or they're people that you care about that are not going to die in the next 10, 20 years, okay? Because it's like my parents, they're like, I don't care, I'm gone. Like, it's like I lived a great life. Like, houses were greatly affordable when I was alive, when I was your age. And that's a whole nother story. Let's not talk about affordability and sustainability right now as far as that goes. But I mean, it's really important that we do dive into the heavy stuff and some of the stuff that is uncomfortable to talk about. Linnea and I, we were talking about some stuff that we didn't want to talk about here on the air, but we're going to talk about that stuff. We are going to talk about that stuff. We are just trying to talk to one another about this stuff before we're talking about this stuff in front of everybody else. And I think we both agree. It's just this has to be no holds bar. We're not pulling any punches. This is like we're going to bring you as much like truth, as much reality. We're going to talk about conspiracy theories. We're going to talk about Matrix. We're going to talk about aliens. Okay?
You read my mind. I was like, UFOs.
We are going to talk about ancient tech. We're going to talk about realms. We're going to talk about BlackRock.
Dimension.
Yeah, dimensions. Okay, we're going to talk about Rupus Nigra and all that comes along with, what do they call it, Mount Sumeru. Look that stuff up. Look up Rupus Nigra and Mount Sumeru. That stuff will trip you out. And so this is the stuff that Linnea would totally be the best to chat with about because her mind's open. She's a great critical thinker. And I feel like between you and I, we're going to have some hilarious and also awesome, intriguing convo. So I'm excited to see what happens.
I'm so stoked. And we've got about 45 seconds.
Oh, okay.
And hey, I thought about having Garrett do a podcast with me. His birthday is literally April Fool's. This guy and I, we spend so much time laughing. We're going to have some great laughs and some fun times. But hey, we're not afraid to address the elephant in the room, okay?
Yep.
We're going to shine a light on that bit.
The elephant really ties the room together. Let me tell you, folks, The elephant ties the room together. Hey, awesome. Love everybody. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for being here. Have an awesome night.
Love you guys.
Chi.